page with the Orlando Sentinel and FM 96.9 The Game's Mike the Bulldog Bianchi.
On JRR.
The Bulldog Sports page is brought to you by Kaufman and Linda Injury Attorneys. We hear the Bulldog might be a little hobbled this morning, but not like a certain quarterback out of South Florida.
Oh, come on.
Man, yeah, I went to the comedy show at the Kia Center last night. Sebastian, I don't know how to pronounce his last name.
Maniscalco?
Manicotti.
Yeah.
He's the hot comic right now, though.
Did you have a few beverages last night, doggy?
I did have a few beverages last night. I got like 3 hours sleep. I may still be intoxicated. I don't know. But
wow.
Anyway, the Dolphins looked intoxicated last night.
Is this where you would sing your Back to Life, Back to Reality song?
Actually, the Dolphins should be 0-2 because the Jaguars gifted them the game last week. So, but yeah, back to life, back to reality. 31-10, they get blown out by the Bills. You mentioned Tua; he left the game in the third quarter because of a concussion. Man, I'll tell you what. So he's scrambling for a first down. Gets hit, ironically, by Damar Hamlin.
Forearm to the
head.
Buffalo
Bills player who nearly died 2 years ago. So he gets hit in the head. His head hit, the tackle. Hamlin hits his head on the tackle, and then his head bounces off the turf. And, he goes into that fencing position where his hand sort of gnarls up, curls up. Again, this is serious because I was reading some stuff this morning. A couple of medical experts, one from CBS Sports, their medical expert, Marty Jeremio, says, again, textbook sign of a severe head injury. He hit his head twice, first on the tackle, second on the landing. This young man simply doesn't have the luxury of having multiple concussions and then thinking he can have a long career. So he says, retirement has to at least be in play, according to this guy.
Pat called it. So. He called it probably 2, if not almost 3 years ago about the marshmallow helmets. And this past weekend, if you guys recall, Pat knows, we had somebody playing in one.
They can use them in games now if they want to. Yeah. I think they're going to be mandatory very soon, Bulldog. I really do. This may be the final straw.
Well, I hate to say it, but this was the fear and the reason the Dolphins were tentative about giving Tua the huge contract with all the guaranteed money. They finally ended up giving it to him a few weeks ago, and they were concerned they could be on the hook for a lot of money if he suffers a career-threatening or a career-ending injury. And you're probably going to accuse me of overreaction, but I don't think it is an overreaction. I think the Dolphins' hopes of making the playoffs and having a successful season are essentially over.
Who do they have as a backup?
Skylar Thompson.
Oh.
Yeah. Tua's going to be out multiple weeks, if he even comes back at all this year.
Right.
And the Dolphins should be. They weren't good even with Tua in the game last night.
I tell you what,
Tua threw three picks last night.
I tell you what, with the helmet, you said if Tua comes back, I can guarantee you he's going to come back in the marshmallow helmet. And also, why not play in those? I know that we all scoffed at it years ago, but think about it, Pat. They're practicing in the offseason with them. You're kind of used to those stupid helmets by now if they're going to save your career.
Yeah, if it could save Tua's career, obviously he ought to play in it, but...
All right, well,
I'd wear one in here.
To be continued, we'll see. Hey, Bulldog, we got the Buccaneers traveling to play the Meatheads on Sunday.
Man, that's a big game. The Meatheads, by the way, the Lions, who are the darlings of the NFL. A lot of people picking them to get to the Super Bowl this year. They're favored by 7 over the Buccaneers. That's in Detroit. That's going to be wild up there. They are crazy about the Lions up there. But you know what?
I would like to again.
Really good last week.
I would like to stress again here. I've been on the Dan Campbell bandwagon since day one.
You have,
yeah.
You have. A lot of people were, including myself, were sort of laughing when they named Dan Campbell the Meathead the head coach. But the guy is getting it done. He motivates his players. He's got a great staff and a great roster right now. Mm-hmm. But don't be surprised if the Buccaneers go up there and upset him because Baker Mayfield was excellent last week. He's been excellent for a year and one game for the Buccaneers. He's been really good, so we'll see what happens.
And the Cleveland Clown Show coming to Jacksonville.
Yeah, and here I'm not liking this, by the way. You see what the Jaguars have done with their stadium this week? They're naming it, I guess Everbank Stadium is the name of the stadium, all right? But this week, Everbank Stadium's doing some sort of promotion. They're naming the stadium Trevor Bank Stadium. They're going to have all sorts of signage out there for Trevor Lawrence.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, not liking this at all. Trevor Bank Stadium. I'll tell you what, he better play well. He better play well, or else they'll be calling it Never Bank Stadium, as in Trevor will never be an elite quarterback.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah.
No pressure. No pressure.
No pressure. They've only named the stadium after you for the week. So, other big games this week, the Bengals, see if they can get off the schneid against Taco Bob's Kansas City Chiefs. San Francisco at Minnesota could be a good game. We don't know if Christian McCaffrey's going to play in that game.
Do you think he will?
New Orleans at Dallas. Huh?
Do you think he will?
Do I think he will?
Uh-huh.
If he does, I don't think he'll get a full workload.
No.
But, yeah. New Orleans at Dallas could be good. New Orleans just blew out the terrible Carolina Panthers last week, but the Cowboys are favored by, I think, about a touchdown. And then we have Indianapolis at Green Bay. Should be a good game.
All right. Gators this weekend, dog. Are you going to be covering this or what?
I will not be covering the Gators, but Texas A&M coming to Florida. We don't know who the starting quarterback is going to be. Is it going to be the freshman phenom? Is it going to be Graham Mertz? We'll see when whoever trots out on the field in the first quarter. But yeah, Florida needs to win this game. Texas A&M favored by 3. UCF, by the way, on the road for their conference opener against TCU. Yeah. They're a 1-point favorite. Yeah. They're a 1-point favorite on the road. They lead the nation in rushing. We'll see what happens there as well. And
we'll talk a lot more with.
Watch out for Memphis.
Yeah. Well, by the way, on UCF, we'll talk a lot more about their game and matchup with Mark Daniels, the play-by-play voice of the team, when we huddle up with him later. Yeah. No. Go ahead with what you were saying. Memphis. Don't let your guard down.
Watch
Florida
out
State.
for Memphis. Florida State's already 0-2. Memphis is coming to town. Memphis might be the best group of 5 program out there right now, so this is not an easy game for Florida State. Florida State only favored by 6 points at home. If they lose this game and go to 0-3, you know how fans are.
Yeah.
Will Florida State fans start grumbling about Mike Norvell?
I don't know.
I would think.
Right? I mean, you can be on the hot seat in no time these days. So,
all right. Well,
we'll see what happens.
More college football talk, like you said, with Mark Daniels a little later in the show. Bulldog, get yourself a little Bloody Mary going there this morning at the luxury condo, and you're going to be all right. We do want to check in quickly, I guess, at the F1 desk here before we go.
How's that feel in your hungover head? Oh, we have. Oh, boy, get ready for it. It sounds like the town that a lot of people live in. It's not Orlando, but Lando Norris is our winner this weekend.
Oh, wow. Wow. Okay.
Not picking Verstappen, huh?
Wow. While you guys were talking about the last thing I was Googling, favorite.
Right.
Anyway.
Who do you got in NASCAR playoffs, Bulldog? Watkins Glen. Who are you going to pick?
Well, I'm going with Kyle Larson.
Okay, good. Just wanted to make sure. All right, AM 7.
Orlando City versus New England tomorrow night at the Purple Palace. The Orlando Pride still unbeaten. They host Kansas City tonight at the Purple Palace.
AM 740 The Game and FM 96.9 The Game, where you can hear Mike the Bulldog Bianchi host an open mic. And thanks for coming in for the sports page each morning here on JR, brought to you by Kaufman and Lind.
That's right. You can listen to Under Oath with attorney Jeff Coppin every Saturday morning on FM 96.9 The Game, 7:30 a.m. You can catch extended versions on your favorite streaming platform.
Linz and Taco on demand. Download download the iHeartRadio app.